everyone's talking about how great Dirty Dom is. And it coincides with today, as we tape this on
Yeah.
Thursday, being the 20-year anniversary of, or I guess just the date of Eddie Guerrero's passing. It's been 20 years since then. Just absolutely nuts to think how much time has passed and how much has happened. Dominic clearly embodying so much of him. And I asked you before we taped to read the Players Tribune article that Rey Mysterio wrote as a tribute to Eddie. What do you make of the article when you had a chance to skim through it?
Man, it was great. I got my feels a little bit because I do know how close Eddie and Ray were. I mean, they were more than friends. They were brothers. I mean, they really really were. And they, Eddie had taken Ray under his wing when he was really young, and they always stayed so tight. They made so much magic together. They loved working together. And the fact that they did that angle where custody of Dom, who's the father, that whole thing they did in 2005. The fact that that lives on now, and Dom has embraced that, as a heel, and he has mimicked Eddie in so many ways, away from the mustache and the mullet, everything. It's so inspiring, and I really wish. I'm sure he sees him somewhere, wherever he is right now, wherever Eddie Guerrero's soul is. I'm sure he is looking down at Dom and Ray and smiling. But I wish he could be here in real time, in real life, and see how great Dom has been, and how many people Eddie has inspired. That's one thing that always hits me real deep when people pass away, especially at a young age, about the people they inspire, the influence, the effect they have on other people. Like Eddie had that effect on so many people, and just what he's doing with Dom will keep Eddie living on forever. And I love that so much. I wish Eddie could be here to see it.
There was a line in that piece where I think Ray referred to Eddie as your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
And that almost feels like it's probably universally true. I can't think of many wrestlers that don't look at Eddie as one of the true all-time great, well-rounded performers in wrestling history. Do you think Eddie was as appreciated as he is now when he was still alive, when he was working? Did people realize his true brilliance back then?
No. I mean, no one is. When people are retired or when they're dead and gone, there's always a much greater level of appreciation for them. They actually get their flowers then, which is sad, which is, something that I preach about all the time. I want to see people get their flowers while they're, here and in the now, and healthy and doing stuff and making a difference. It's great when that happens. But no, he did go to a level of great appreciation to a lot of wrestling fans. And the fact that he was rewarded with that WWE championship and that big victory over Brock, it was so fantastic that happened. And it really was. It was a touching moment where him and Benoit were together as champions, because they were best friends for the longest time. I mean, that was a special moment. But to see that Vince McMahon realized how special Eddie was, and Vince loved Eddie. I know we've talked about this some, but Vince loved Eddie. Vince thought Eddie was just a tremendous character, where a lot of times he'd go like, oh, fuck, he's a luchador. I don't care about that luchador. I don't care about those flips. I don't care about that lucha style. He knew he was a great entertainer, and he loved Eddie's style. And I'm so happy that Vince decided to pull the trigger on him and greenlight him winning the world title. That was something that Eddie greatly deserved, and I'm so happy it happened for him.
Did the locker room share that sentiment?
Yeah, everybody did. Eddie was universally beloved, man. He was someone that had been through his struggles, that people know had a tough path. They'd seen him in shitty spots, but they knew how talented he was, and they knew at his core he was an amazing human being that gave a shit about everybody. He really did. He wanted everybody to be better. He wanted everybody to be happy. He wanted everybody to be healthy. He wanted what was best for every individual person. He was that kind of human being.
Ray talks about the SummerSlam 2005 match in that article, where it was the ladder match for the custody of Dom, and there was a cross-up with when Vicky was supposed to go to the ring and when the ref was supposed to do something. And it's a pretty infamous clip of Eddie hanging on the top of the ladder screaming, "Where the fuck's Vicky? Where the fuck's Vicky? Like, where is this?" And in the piece, it talked about how he was irate backstage. He lost his shit. He was going crazy. But he saw Dom, who this was the first match that Dom was ever like actively involved in, and his temper just went away. And he became super chill Eddie. and was kind to him. Do you have any recollections of that, or does that resonate with what Eddie's personality was?
Yes, I think that does resonate with how Eddie, and he was very famous. People knew he was well known for having being a hothead, having a temper. Like if he really got upset about something, because he was very passionate. And part of that, dude, you know, I'm married to a Puerto Rican. My wife, she's very passionate. Like when things are great, they're the most amazing they can possibly be. But when things are bad, it's like, holy hell, it's awful. You know what I mean? Like Eddie was like that too. When he loved something, I mean, he was so passionate and excited and so just ecstatic about it. But whenever he was down or something went wrong or something went awry and he was upset or somebody fucked up, I mean, he would get upset about things and he would voice his opinion. He was very, very passionate when it came to being happy or upset. And that makes sense. But when he would look at someone like a child, like Dom, who's young and innocent, I know he changed. You know, he would, oh my God, I can't be angry. God, I'm angry, I know, but like this is a child. I have to be a good influence for this child. And that's just kind of the dude he was.
Do you feel like you watch Eddie when you watch Dom in a way?
I do feel like that to a degree. I feel like he is carrying Eddie with him now. You know, Eddie lives on through Dom. He's carrying Eddie and keeping his legacy alive.
It's also a smart move for Dom because while there's only ever going to be one Eddie Guerrero and there's only ever going to be one Rey Mysterio, it's a lot harder to be Rey Mysterio than it is to be Eddie Guerrero in terms of embodying all of that. And what I think so many wrestlers love about Eddie is that there are parts of him that you can take with you and incorporate into your game. And Dom has done a really fantastic job at that. And we can talk about what he did with Cena here in just a second. But is there anything else you want to say on Eddie? Because we've done 2 episodes about Eddie in the past. You can check them out in the archives, extremehardy.com. But is there anything else you want to add here on the 20 years to the day that Eddie passed?
I mean, the first thing I would say to anyone who is listening to this podcast, go back in our archive and listen to the Eddie episodes we've done. They're great. Eddie was one of the most intriguing, interesting human beings I've ever interacted with. And I've said this many, many times. I've said this to everyone. Like Eddie could read a crowd every single night differently, better than anybody else I've ever been in the ring with. He could feel a crowd. He could detect what the crowd wanted better than anybody else, which is a special gift to have in this business. And a lot of people can't do that in this day and age. So he was very gifted in that field. Yes, go back and listen to these things. And Eddie Guerrero was such an amazing talent. He was an amazing human being, and I feel so blessed that I got the opportunity to know him. I got the opportunity to wrestle him several times, and just that he was part of my life. I feel very special that I was able to interact with him.